Every single old expansion up until the Light and Darkness Saga ends, so we're talking Shadowkeep through Final Shape, should be entirely free forever, and that should be the new player experience in Destiny 2. I've been doing a lot of pondering in my thinking device up here. I've been digging in my cranium, and I've just been thinking about just everything, right? Destiny 3, the state of the game now. The biggest issue with Destiny 2 is that it doesn't have a new player experience, right? The first mission's great, right? The one from D1, phenomenal first mission. But what happens after that? You have the shitty, like little, I guess, beginner quest line with Shahan in the Cosmodrome, which needs to be removed immediately. And I need to see a cutscene of Shahan getting his head ripped off by a Cabal chief, right? Just I need to see Shahan being violently murdered. That would make me a little happy on the inside. But also, it immediately shoves the new DLC down your throat. The issue is no one new is playing Destiny, right? No one's buying the game, no one's starting the game because the thing is, Destiny does have great content in it, right? Even the bad expansions. The biggest issue with every expansion in Destiny is just the seasons, right? The seasonal content is usually what's hit or miss. As far as the actual DLC is concerned, every DLC has a great campaign. Every DLC has great raids. Every DLC has great dungeons, right? The seasonal stuff comes and goes, but the stuff that stays in the game is great, right? Even Shadowkeep and Lightfall, they're not the best, but to call the campaigns bad is just you're lying, right? The Shadowkeep and Lightfall, they're okay as far as the campaign's concerned, but they also should not cost money anymore, right? Nothing from the Light and Darkness saga should cost any money anymore because that is the one thing that's keeping new players from coming in. Look at a game like Warframe. Warframe is probably doing the best it's ever been doing right now because of that new expansion. But it's also just because Warframe is an entirely free to play game as far as the content's concerned, right? They get you with the platinum, they get in your head. They get in your head, you know they get in your head. Any Warframe defenders, you know the platinum brain rot runs deep and you're denying it. But as far as the content is concerned, everything in Warframe is free. I think that Destiny 2 is a more enjoyable game than Warframe. The only problem is Warframe is a more attractive game because you don't need to spend any money, right? To do any of the fun stuff, any of the good stories, any of the fun events, you need to spend money on D2 when you should not need to for the old stuff. This is what I think that they should do. Edge of Fate and Renegades, you keep them paywalled, right? The newest expansion should always cost money. I don't know if the smarter thing to do is just to make it so only the Light and Darkness saga is free, or if it just becomes a thing where now new expansion drops the next calendar year when the next set of expansion drops, the previous ones also become free. I don't know what's better. I don't know what'll work out more, but one of them needs to happen. The new player experience in Destiny 2 should be this. You load up the game, you do the beginning mission in the Cosmodrome, you make your character, you get out, you go to the tower. Okay, all of that stuff with Shahan, get rid of it, burn it from the game. I want to see a cutscene of Shahan being violently murdered in the EDZ. That's what I want to see. Don't ask why he's there. He left the Cosmodrome. He got a little comfortable. Just got impaled by a Cabal. That's what I want to see. I need to see Shahan's corpse lifeless. But we make 3 new missions, one in the EDZ, one in the Cosmodrome, one on Nessus, unlocks Arc Solar Void. Those 3 missions teach you the ropes of the game, how to play the game, the stuff you'll need to know. It should take no more than an hour to beat all 4 missions. And then when you beat that introductory thing, it gives you a big pop-up screen and it lets you, the player, decide what campaign do you want to start first. Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, Witch Queen, Lightfall, Final Shape. All free. You could start any of them in any order, right? You could start Shadowkeep, be like, I'm not feeling this, and then instantly go in the Final Shape if you want to. Any of them at any time, there's a couple buzzwords. It tells you what each campaign's about, right? Like Shadowkeep's lore focused, Final Shape gets you prismatic, Witch Queen gets you more lore. Like it tells you and it lets you choose. And then and only then, after you beat one of those new expansions, it shows you, hey, this is what we have right now. Would you like to purchase it? I know what you may be thinking, Michael. If they make the old expansions free, would they not lose money? I don't think so. Because hear me out, right? One, if all the old expansions were free, now the Eververse store makes more sense, right? So people, that's how they'd probably make their money. But also, if we think about it logistically speaking, who is buying the old expansions a year after they come out? I don't really know, right? Even now, who is buying Final Shape in the year 2025, December 19th, 2025? Not that many people. I genuinely think you could count on one hand the amount of new players that Destiny 2 gets a month. How do you remedy that? You make all of the old stuff free. Because I think another thing that we're not thinking about is everyone's asking for Destiny 3. But I don't think that D3 would just magically work if they don't start to repair their reputation with the gaming community, but also interest new players, right? Destiny 2 is one of the most unattractive games ever because you know going into the monetary commitment you need to make. You have to buy this, you have to buy that. You want to do this, you got to buy that. If you make all of the old stuff that we know is good, the campaigns, the raids, the dungeons free, you are going to get such a massive influx of new players that one, they're realistically speaking very likely to buy Renegades and Edge of Fate, but also they're just going to stick around. The sentiment's going to go up. People are going to be happier. There's going to be more players, right? PvP is going to be more populated. The strike, like everyone's going to be playing the game more if new players actively have a reason to get on. All they have to do, I'm coining this right now, the February patch. It comes out with part 2 of Renegades. You make all of the old expansions free, and as far as the dungeons and the raids are concerned, you go in and you revamp all of them and add the feat system and the tiered weapon system and armor. You add a bonus set to like a bonus whatever the fuck the armor 4.0 thing is to all the armor sets. The weapons, you revamp the perk pool if you need to. You just bring all of the old raids and dungeons up to the modern standard. You make them all entirely free, except for Desert Perpetual and the new dungeon from Renegades. Those still cost money, but everything else completely free. Brings in new players. I guarantee that will make Bungie more money and will repair community sentiment with the company. Or not, I don't know. I'm just a retard. I'm going to end the video here, though. If anyone has any disagreements or any more ideas, let me know. I just think the only way for the future of this franchise to succeed is if everything is free. Because the problem is Marathon's going to flop, and we know it is, right? I don't care who you are, unless Marathon is legitimately the greatest game ever made, which it's definitely not going to be. No one's going to buy it over Arc Raiders. No one's going to play it over Tarkov. The OG Marathon fans probably aren't going to play it because this has nothing to do with Marathon. Marathon's a dead horse. We already need to move on from it. They need to fix D2 and they need to beeline it towards D3. But the only way D3 works is if D2 somewhat comes back a little bit. I don't know, though. I'm going to go. Goodbye, guys. Subscribe.